For decades, corporate financial reporting has relied on a specific format, the raw data dump, hundreds of pages of dense text and sprawling tables. All the metrics required to value a business are in there, but they are buried. The sheer volume of unstructured data acts as a barrier, making it nearly impossible to quickly isolate the actual drivers of a company's performance. This is the Finmagine Financials tab. It translates that dense filing into an interactive workspace, split into two specific engines, charts and statements. Having access to the raw numbers provides zero edge on its own. The advantage comes from a workflow that spots visual patterns on the surface and then diagnoses the exact mathematical root causes underneath. This is a two-phase pipeline. Phase 1 happens in the chart subtab. This is where you establish the what, identifying the visual trajectory of the company at a glance. Phase 2 happens in the statement subtab. This is where you drill down into the expandable tables to find the why, the specific line items driving those visual trends. Treating these two subtabs as a strict sequential sequence, rather than a collection of random dashboards, builds the foundation for high-conviction analysis. If you skip Phase 1, you drown in data without context. If you skip Phase 2, you mistake visual correlations for mathematical proof. This interface anchors the analysis in the present moment. Starting at the top, the year-over-year and quarter-over-quarter percentage badges tell you exactly where the company's momentum sits right now. Directly below, the quarterly trend chart maps out recent history. By toggling between revenue, net profit, and operating profit margin, you can quickly spot short-term momentum shifts and recent inflection points. But short-term momentum can be deceptive. The Growth CAGR section tests those recent numbers against long-term structural reality, providing 1-year, 3-year, and 5-year progression rates. This is the annual trend chart. It maps full fiscal years, layering the operating profit margin, the yellow line, over the revenue and profit bars. This reveals whether top-line growth is compounding smoothly or destroying underlying profitability over a full business cycle. A complete macro analysis requires balancing that immediate tactical momentum against long-term historical context and margin stability. Reported net profit is an accounting construct. It can be legally managed, smoothed, and adjusted. Operating cash flow, however, is a rigid measure of actual cash hitting the bank. This chart isolates that exact relationship. It tests the quality of reported earnings by comparing operating cash flow directly against profit after tax. In a healthy business, the red operating cash flow bars will consistently match or exceed the blue net profit bars. That indicates the earnings are backed by real cash. If the blue profit bar consistently towers over the red cash flow bar, the company's booking revenue it hasn't actually collected. The platform automatically flags this mismatch, prompting an immediate review of receivables. Failing this specific cash quality test renders the rest of the P&L irrelevant. It signals a hard stop for a deeper forensic investigation. Once the visual patterns and cash quality are verified, the analysis moves into Phase 2, the Statement subtab. This table is the raw data environment. It houses the complete quarterly and annual P&L, balance sheet, cash flows, and sector KPIs. By default, it displays absolute numerical values. Absolute numbers map the size of a business, but they are inherently limited. Reading raw revenue figures in millions entirely obscures the underlying velocity. Switching the display mode to year-over-year percentages strips out seasonal fluctuations. It converts every single line item into a standardized growth rate compared to the same period last year. Toggling to quarter-over-quarter percentages applies a different filter. This view highlights immediate sequential shifts, identifying exactly when a business begins to accelerate or decelerate. The final mode formats the entire statement as a percentage of top-line revenue. By pegging sales at 100%, every expense becomes a relative ratio, isolating precise margin leaks over time. Raw numbers only tell you what happened. Multidimensional percentage lenses tell you exactly how and why it happened. The final challenge in financial analysis is tracking variables that do not live on the same page. A complete thesis often requires connecting income with liabilities, or debt with cash flow. The Statements interface solves this through row-level selection. By ticking the checkbox next to any metric across the P&L, balance sheet, or cash flow, this dynamic comparison chart is generated. It plots those previously isolated data points together into a single unified visual workspace. For example, plotting revenue from the P&L alongside total borrowings from the balance sheet will instantly verify if a company's growth is organically funded or if it is relying on a widening debt spiral. A business is a connected system. True fundamental analysis occurs at the intersection of these metrics, watching how they diverge and align across statements. This is the complete analytical sequence. Spot the visual pattern in the charts, clear the cash quality gate, isolate margin leaks using percentage lenses, and verify the cross-statement logic on the comparison chart. Access to raw financial data is no longer an advantage. The market already has the numbers. The true edge lies in the speed and precision with which you apply the correct filter to cut through noise and expose structural reality. Mastering the Finmagine Financials tab provides the exact infrastructure required to execute this systematic, institutional-grade workflow in minutes.